When you saw Willard, you saw someone with integrity. And he was in public life not for himself, but for these big things that he believed in. And he spent his whole life serving those goals. But he and I became very good friends very early. And I was, of course, a hot young politician trying to get going and not very well known. And Willard was very well settled up there in his district. And he tried to help me every way he could. He'd take me out to like graduations, he'd take me to political meetings. He put out a piece of literature called the M&M Boys. It was Munger and Mondale. And really helped me up there because I wasn't very well known. I remember one time we went out to Floodwood and I gave the commencement speech there. There may have been 200 people there. And Willard took me back to the door as they were leaving, and he knew the name of every person coming out that door and introduced me. I think he knew the names. I don't know, it sounded like it. But no, a wonderful guy.
Impressive.
Do you know how that trail came about?
No.
About 15 years ago in the legislature, some of the people got up on the House floor and said, "Munger, you wouldn't want a trail going by your front door, would you? You wouldn't want those hoodlums come by your area, would you? But you want to come by my place, don't you?" And they used to give me so much flack on that. When they decided on the trail, they were going to cut off on the other side of my place.
Yeah.
I said, "You're going to go right around in front of my house." And they said, "Well, you wouldn't want that." I said, "Yes, I do. You either put that trail in front of my house or you don't get any money."
There's a person that sticks with his convictions all around. I think that's really impressive.
I have to smile when I think of him because Willard is a very unusual character. And he's made an incredible accomplishment. He's made an incredible record for the betterment of the people of this state. It takes courage to support legislation that you know is important and needed, but yet if it were put up to a plebiscite, might fail in your home district. That's hard to do, but Willard has done it and brought his people along. So his legislative district has become one of the great sponsors of legislation because they kept Willard in office all these years. We worked together when we had established Voyageur National Park. An advisory council was set up, and Willard and I were on it at the beginning. And it was loaded with people who were generally opponents of the park. Willard and I were lonely voices on that commission in the early days. You know, some would criticize Willard because of not being as considerate of opposition and so on, but I always admired him because he knew what needed to be done. He was dedicated to the environment. That was his mission, that was his life, and he just didn't brook any opposition. He'd plow right through it.
It's considered the greatest walleye fishing area in the United States. When I bought this place, there wasn't a single boat out there fishing, not one.
Willard Munger looks down the St. Louis River. We're talking. He says, "I want you to remember this. You know, Paul, I take some positions on issues that not everybody in my district agrees with me on." I said, "Yeah, I know that." He said, "But you know, election after election, I usually get 80% of the vote." I said, "I know that." He said, "You know how I do it?" I said, "No, but I sure would like to know." He said, "You see those fellows fishing in the river?" He said, "I helped clean that river up years ago. Every time they catch a fish, they think of Willard Munger." All politics is local. I have 4 heroes and heroines. Sheila and I have talked about this often. Eleanor Roosevelt, who said the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That's Willard Munger. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Robert Kennedy, and 4th, Willard Munger. Thank you.